Yeah, muffin talk. Muffin talk. Muffin talks. Bringing healing to those who need it most.
Well, let me know when to start.
No, whenever you're ready, we're rolling.
Oh. All right. At what age did you lose your dad? And what was the hardest thing about that time?
So I lost my dad on my 17th birthday. The hardest time about that was he was in the hospital a couple of days before, and I just knew something was gonna happen. I didn't really know like it would be that per se. And so the whole day of my birthday, I was working at this at my brother. He had special needs. So I was working at the special needs school, and so the whole day I just felt gloomy. I was just like, something don't feel right, something not right. I called my mom, and I was just like, Dad, okay? She had to lie and like tell me yeah. And so when I got to the house, it was a whole bunch of police cars and people from my church, and I just lost it. I mean, so yeah, that's yeah. And me and my dad always, we had a weird relationship. I act just like him, literally exactly like him. Like, and so like, I you know, that's my other half. Like that was my other half. So when it happened on my birthday, that was definitely like a pivotal point in my life. So yeah.
Wow.
What about you?
I think I was 22, 23. And yeah, it was hard because, look, I'm about to cry already.
That's okay.
He was my guy. You know, I'm like the daddy's girl. And I was living here. All my immediate family is in New Jersey. So I got used to the whole, you know, not being as close physically. But I was working, I had just recently graduated college, maybe like a year and a half before then. And I was working third shift at a shelter. So I had worked all night. I got off my normal routine, and he would usually like call me in the morning, right when I'm trying to go to sleep. But he didn't call, and I didn't really think nothing of it. And he was actually in the hospital that weekend. He thought he had like an ulcer or something. But he was fine. My brother went there to visit him that Sunday. They was watching sports and everything. I had talked to them that day before, and he was fine. I just knew he was coming home like the next day or so, whatever. But anywho, I got home. I got to sleep like normal, and I didn't hear my phone, but I woke up a little bit when I heard it kind of ringing. I had all these missed calls and stuff, and at that point it was, you know, just pray. It's not looking good, whatever. Yeah. So I did that, reached out to the prayer warriors. They prayed, I was like, okay, I'm still sleepy, so I'm going to go back to sleep. Right. So I went back to sleep, and then my mom called me, and they pretty much was just like, he's gone. Mm-hmm. And I was home alone. I was just in a daze. I was just staring. It's a blur. Like when I think about it, like I remember being there and, the funeral and preparation and all that. But I was like so blank that whole time. So. Yeah.
That's how it be. You just like what? What's going on? So I definitely.
Yeah, it was truly like denial. Like it was a weird denial because like, okay, I know he's gone, but it wasn't until I viewed him before the services. The family got to make sure everything looks right until it like really hit me really bad. But other than that, I was just blank the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what did you love most about your dad?
I absolutely love the way he honored his parents. Like, as far as I can remember, he just loved his mom and dad. Like, I won't say take care of them because they take care of themselves and everything, but like, he always showed up for them in like tremendous ways. He always honored them in everything that he did, whatever they were doing, he was supportive. If anything needed to be done, he was kind of always there. Like sometimes too much. Like to this day, he wasn't a carpenter or nothing, but they needed their front steps done. And I never seen my dad lay no bricks or nothing like that, but the steps needed to be done. And guess what? He did it.
I know that's right.
So sometimes his love went a little too far. But yeah, he absolutely like loved and honored and respected his parents to no end. And I love that about him, and that's why I love my grandparents the way I do, and I honor my parents the way I do, and any elder. I actually work with seniors right now, and I think that's part of, you know, seeing him honor his parents the way he did. That's kind of how I ended up that way. But yeah.
Okay.
And you?
My dad was funny. And I feel like that's where I get a lot of my sense of humor from.
Okay.
My straight faces, my whole demeanor, I believe I get that from my dad. And the same, he's very, loves his family, and although my dad was not, he showed no emotion. He showed absolutely no emotion. And I'm like extremely emotional. And we were the same but complete opposites as far as that. But it was because like, he didn't receive that emotion like from his parents, but he still loved them like unconditionally. Like every 2 weeks he would go see his mom, my grandma, and then like he would fly out to Philly to go see his dad. So he loves his parents. He definitely loved us, even though sometimes like I couldn't tell because he was like not emotional. And so like when you're a parent and you don't show any emotion towards your kids, they automatically feel like, okay, well what's going on? What's wrong with me? But like now that I'm older, I realize like, oh, okay, well he just had trauma like everybody else. Like, you know, so I don't hold that against him at all. But yeah, he was very, very funny. He was a businessman too. I feel like that's where I get like all my entrepreneurial like stuff from. Like he had his own like shoe business and suit business, like basically church. He had all the suits.
Come on, Dad.
All the suits and ties, and it was called. He changed it a lot of times, but Zion. I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Zion's House. No, that's the name of my grandma's thing. Yeah, I forgot what the name of the place was. The name of the business was, but yeah. So I love that about my dad, his sense of humor and just, you know, him being a businessman.
Yeah, my dad was a businessman too. He did a little bit of everything. Auto body. He worked, auto body working on cars. He did a little bit of stuff at the house. He was a chef. He wanted to do everything. My dad had business plans for everything. He didn't always like pursue every little thing, but if somebody asked him to do it, he just wanted it to be legit. So he would just kind of type this up on Word. I'm like, okay. Contract probably wasn't bonded or nothing, but yeah, we got it done. He wanted it done. He had a dream. You know, we just kind of made it work for him.
Yeah.
But yeah. How did the shift of responsibility and roles affect your mom?
Ooh. Girl, why you write that question? Now this one about to make me cry. Wow. So,
Oh, it don't take me much.
girl, I'm gonna get you for writing this question. So, basically my mom really because I don't really like believe when people say, oh, parents are both roles, but I feel like, you know, she really took that mother role, and the gap of where me and my brother was missing, like, you know, my father, you know, him being there and being present, you know, because, you know, not just, he didn't want to not be there, of course. But she's done a lot. I mean, a whole lot. As far as her being there, she was there with him when he passed. Like, it was just them by themselves at the house. And, just it being 10 years ago and just everything that my mother has done to make sure that me and my brother know that we're loved. I can't really even put it into words, so we're actually gonna have to skip this. But yeah. Did you want to answer that one?
Nothing really shifted. My parents were together for like over 21 years.
Wow.
But they got divorced, and when he passed, it had been, I don't know, probably like 10 years or so since they had divorced, but they were cool and everything. So my mom remains my mom, just as solid, loving, caring, giving. So I wouldn't say anything changed. She's just kind of been the same. She also lost her dad in 2008, but she'll show emotion as far as like if she's having a moment, she would cry and stuff like that. But I never really saw how I didn't see anything in particular how she coped or, you know, dealt with it at all. So she just remained there, you know, always assured me that if we needed to talk again, we're long distance. So just kind of being a little bit more there as far as the phone and everything is concerned, but that's about it.
Okay, one thing I will say about that is my mom, there's like when you lose a parent, you always, well, for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I know with my mom, I'm very protective of her. So, you know, being that, you know, I did, you know, go home from work and I did, you know, see my dad like just laying lifeless. I'm like, okay, like my mom, I never want to see her like that. So I'm like very, very protective of her. So I will say there's a shift. Like it does sometimes give me anxiety because I'm always asking my mom like, where you at? Because that's my last parent.
Yeah. And
so like, yeah, that's what I will say about that. It definitely does give me like anxiety sometimes thinking about like, my mom's not gonna always be here forever. And just like trying to, I'm like, I don't want to think about that because I have family members who don't have either parent. Yeah. And I'm like, I cannot see how y'all are doing it. Yeah. And you know, for me, yeah, that's honestly what it's been. So I feel like that's the shift as far as that. Like I'm very protective of her. She's very protective of me and my brother. Yeah. So she never wants us to feel like we're, you know, not loved. So she she does a lot, like, so yeah. Okay. Tell me about the adjustment to life for you and your siblings.
Okay, so it's my oldest brother. He's a year older than I. It's me, and then I have a little brother. We are 20 years apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the adjustment, like I said, I was living away from home when I went away to college, so emotionally I had to kind of adjust. I was used to being so distant, so it wasn't so bad initially. My brothers, they're used to seeing my dad every day. So I felt like I wouldn't say it hit them a little bit harder, but just not having your dad there,
right.
For the simplest to the most major things, my heart really goes out for my little brother because he was so young. Mm. And he loved his dad, was glued to the hip, and you know, just thinking like, how is this gonna affect him growing up? Not having a dad, does he even really understand that his dad is not even here anymore?
Right.
And just thinking about that, and how it's gonna affect him in the long run. Even to this day, like I try to keep my dad's memory alive as much as I can. So I'll bring it up or I'll send him a picture like of him and my dad like a while ago. And he's kind of like,
yeah,
you know, he remembers him, but he doesn't. And I think that tears me up a lot. But, you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean, for me, I have a older brother with Down syndrome, and he's not very expressive. So I don't really know. I know he knows. Like, he knows that my dad passed. Like, he knows that, you know, he'll say, he never called my dad that. He always called him his nickname, Terry, and he calls my mother by her first name, too. It's hilarious. But he'll say, like, you know, Terry's gone, like, Terry's in heaven. Like, so he said that, you know, 10 years ago, like, leading up until, like maybe, like, a few years ago, but I don't really know, like, how he's, unless I have a conversation with him, like, I'm not really sure how it affected him, honestly, because I don't never really see my brother deal with emotions. I don't know if it's because he has special needs and they process things differently, of course, but I can't really say. As far as for me, since I'm his sibling, I will say it really didn't hit me until I went to college, because it happened my junior year, the summer before I went into my senior year. So I didn't really process it until I went to college, and I remember I had got it accepted into Howard. I really wanted to go to Howard, and I got accepted into Howard. And then you know, my mom, she was a little sad because, you know, she didn't want me to like leave. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, my dad is actually gone. So that's when I was like, well, I'm gonna apply to NCCU, you know, stay around or whatever. So like, yeah, it took like a couple of years, and I will say like it still is a challenge, but when you learn how to grow and adapt to change, like of course like you get sad and you know you have your moments and you're in your feelings or whatever, but I feel like of course I'm never gonna forget him. You just learn how to live with it. You just learn how to live with it. So yeah, that's what I say about
And my
that.
older brother, yeah, he don't really show any emotion. Every now and then he'll post like a picture or something, or if we talk about him, you know, we'll kind of laugh about the good times. But it's kind of, you know, and not that he don't have them, he just, he just don't show them a lot. I do remember, I celebrate my dad whenever I can. I mean, when they're gone, you have limited memories. Literally, you only have whatever pictures, whatever videos. And I think I had posted something like on his death anniversary, and my brother was like, "Stop doing that, you know, do the birthday and you know the happy stuff. Like we don't want to keep dwelling on that." And I was just like, "Well, it's a little bit different for me. I just, whenever I can, I want to celebrate it." And he understood, but I think you know he just kind of wanted to be an afterthought, but still honoring his life in the most happiest times, not you know the sad stuff. So.
And that's kind of where, like, I'm not gonna say I struggled with, like, at first I did struggle with it, but then since it happened on my birthday, I'm just like, do I go party or do I, like, and so I just found a happy medium. Like, I just, now, well, back then, I haven't really celebrated my birthday, like, in a while. But like back then, like I would just, you know, take like an hour or two to just think of the memories and, you know, look at old photos, like look at the obituary, and like I don't really get sad at those things. The mom just like, you know, my dad, he did what he could and he lived a good life. So I'm just like, I can't really be sad. I'm like, but it is kind of like weird, like, you know, I want to go to the club for my birthday. I want to go party for my birthday, but I'm like, this day is kind of, it's kind of a sacred, you know, kind of a day, even though it's my birthday.
That's weird that they passed on such significant days. Back then, he was my boyfriend. He's my husband now. My dad passed on my husband's birthday.
Wow.
So, of course, for a while, it was just like,
birthday?
right? So, for a while, I was kind of like in a slump. But I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I just had this revelation, like, you know, God does all things well. Yeah, he passed, but he's given me something else to celebrate on that day. So if I want to honor him or if I want to remember, I can, but I'll always have something else to kind of shift my focus, which is my husband's birthday, you know, not robbing him of, you know, his celebration of life while he's still here. So it's just time, mindset, decision. You know, you gotta, sometimes you don't feel it, but you just gotta keep choosing peace and choosing the happy and choosing, you know, that type of emotional state and space. But yeah.
And it can be hard.
Yes.
But what I will say, it definitely, I feel like it's only as hard. No, once time goes on, like you gotta let some time go by. Like, you know, you just can't be like, yes, like the first day it happened, like, you know, because you're in just disbelief. But like as the years go on and like you just begin to accept, like, this is a part of my life now. Like this is who I am. Like I am a girl without a father, but you know, I have a father. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's my go. It's my go. Okay. What things do you catch yourself doing or saying just like your dad would?
Doing or saying, where the bacon and eggs at? My father, every time he would visit my grandparents, we would stay with them like every weekend. No matter what, we would go over there every weekend. And when he would come over in the morning, he always was up in the house, where the bacon and eggs at, Mom? Where the bacon and eggs at? So every now and then around breakfast time, or if I'm hungry or something, I'll just blurt that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember. It was just more like the faces. My daddy would always be like to everything. Like if I be like, "Ooh, I made the A honor roll," he'll be like, like I really did make the A honor roll, because like prior I would have made bad grades. So whenever I came home like with, you know, good grades, he'd be like, And like just with anything, like, ooh, I made some spaghetti, ooh, it's good. He'll be like, so like, yeah.
That's funny that you brought up grades. A quick story. It was in high school or something. I'm not athletic at all, but of course you got to take gym in school. I had got an A in gym, and when my father saw my report card, he was like, Alicia, how you get an A in gym? And I thought that was the funniest thing. I was like, what you mean? He was like, oh, you must be cool with the teacher. I said, I am, but ain't nobody asked you that. Oh, that's funny.
And then he used to get so mad at me when I used to I would purposely like not take money to school because we had to buy lunch in high school and stuff. I purposely not take money, and he would have to get off work and come bring me like food and stuff. It was so fun.
That's funny you said that, because in high school, I had to bring money too, but he brought me food so much, and I didn't always ask, like the guidance counselor, the principal, my teachers and stuff. To this day, they'd be like, Alicia, you are so spoiled. Why you got him coming up here? That was my dad. He was, I think that's probably why my love language is acts of service now.
Yeah.
He just, Alicia, what you want today? My father went and brought it to me almost every day.
Yeah.
It probably is bad now, but that was him. Like, I was his baby girl, and it wasn't nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was all that eating Subway while they was eating their little fries and nuggets. Like,
Listen, I know exactly what you mean.
That was all that too. Like, y'all eating this basic food.
Right? Oh God. All right. What is the most memorable moment with your dad that you'll cherish forever?
So many. I think the funniest one that I still think about is when I think that's when what is that singing show with Kurt Franklin?
Sunday Best?
Sunday Best had just came out, and so we had just watched the episode. My daddy was getting so mad because he just kept like picking everybody that just was running, like just doing like all the hoopla and all of that stuff, which I'm like, they sound good, but he was just like, why can't somebody with like a normal voice, like, you know? And so it was commercial break. Me and Mama was just sitting there, and so he went into the room and took her wig and came back out with like a little thing and just started singing. And he was like, y'all be the judges, y'all be the judges. So he just, so he started singing with my mama wig on. He used to pick on his little synthetic wig she had. And he first of all, he didn't like the wig at all. And so he came out with it on, and then we like, no, you don't sound good. And he'd be like, what you mean no? He was like, this is what I would do if I went up there to sing. What you mean I can't sing? What you mean? So yeah, that was really funny to me. So I think about that, especially around like the holidays and stuff, because we would always like be out watching Christmas movies and like having like eggnog and hot chocolate and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of other ones too, but that one's just like one of the funniest ones to me.
That's hilarious. I think one of the ones I'll cherish, so it's actually a few, but anytime that I would perform, like I went to performing arts high school, singing in church, so anytime I would do anything, my dad was there front and center. He didn't care if it was protocol or not, and he wasn't technology savvy, so he had his disposable camera, and he was front and center, flicking away like he had the most recent digital camera. So I think those memories are probably the ones I cherish the most. Because he always pushed me to kind of do what I like, and I always like to sing, and I still do now, but I don't think I have, since he passed, I don't really think I have like the drive that I did. Of course I sing at church, you know, I'll always honor God with my gift, right? But as far as like the other stuff, you know, singing groups and a lot of things, I'll try to do stuff here and there, but I just don't really, I haven't been feeling like doing it like I would if he was here. But yeah, those memories I probably cherish that the most. That camera and him just walking up there not caring. He thought he owned, everywhere he went, he thought he owned the place. You couldn't tell him nothing.
Listen.
You couldn't tell, my name Fred Allen, what's up? Like,
I know
that was
right.
him. And he was respectful, but that was his demeanor. You know, that's my daughter, that's my baby, so. But yeah, those memories I'll cherish the most.
Yeah, that kind of brings back one to when I used to be in like chorus in high school. And I remember one show, my mom couldn't make it because she had to go out of town, and my brother was at my grandma's house. So I thought my dad wasn't going to get off work in time. And so I'm like, everybody, it's the last show, everybody parents there, and I'm just in literally like, I'm not giving my all. Like, we was doing a Michael Jackson song, I think, or no, it was the opening. We was doing this song called Magic to Do. And I was just in the middle, like, not giving my all. I was like, magic to do, magic. Like, I did not care. Like, I was like, ain't my family not here? Like, I'm not doing nothing. And so I saw my daddy in the audience, and I literally just got so excited. I was just like, he was in the back, so I really couldn't see him, so I did a little squint. And I was like, I gave him my all then, because he used to go to all of my performances. Like, when I did Black Nativity, he was there crying. Like, he would be crying when I did solos in church. He would stand. If nobody else stood up, my daddy was gonna stand up. Even if I'm 9 years old screaming, he gonna stand up. And yeah, that was one of my favorite memories too. Like, me just like, I don't know, because you mostly like see that in like movies when like something is happening, and then you're like, oh my God, like. But that's how I felt when I saw my dad. I was just like, yeah, like. Yeah, this my boy. Like, he's supporting, like, yeah, this my boy. What is something you wish you could do with your dad right now?
I'll probably go fishing. That's one of his favorite hobbies. I never really liked it, but just to be there enjoying his company, just real calm, something he loved to do. Of course, when they're gone, you wish you would have appreciated everything more. So I would probably just like to just be out there with him fishing.
Yeah. I would go shoe shopping, because my daddy used to go to this place called Merchants, and I think Burlington all the time. And me and him used to go sometimes we'd go with my mom and my brother, but we used to go like all the time. Every time my daddy would go somewhere to look at clothes, suits, anything, like I would go. And I know when the year he passed, I did like take the rest of his clothes and like ties and like men's shoes and heels and stuff, and then I like took it to, we had like our church conference, and like, so in his honor, like I sold everything. So yeah, if he was still here, I would. And even when he was alive, I would still like help him. Like, I would go to the back and like help him like bag the stuff up. He'll give me a little $10, but it's like, all the money you made, you gonna give me this. And so, like, other than that, like, yeah, I definitely, like, that's where I get, like, my, I wouldn't say sense of fashion, because, like, my daddy just did, like, church stuff, and that was it. But I feel like I get, like, my style and, like, from him a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I would probably go to the casino, too. He did like to do that.
Okay, that sounds fun, actually.
All right, when did you know was the right time to start the grieving process, and what was that like?
The right time. So, like I said, like, I feel like I kind of went through the grieving process, I guess, starting my freshman year of college, because I guess I kind of want to do it alone. Like, I'm an introvert. I want to like be by myself, and I feel like that's when it started, honestly. Like, because before, I still was in shock. It didn't like register that had happened, because I'm like, he's been here for 17 years. Like, what do you mean, like, he's gone? And so it was hard. Like, it was definitely hard, especially like going into like an environment like college, and like just seeing like a bunch of boys, and me being vulnerable with having lost my father 2 years ago. Like, it was kind of challenging, because I'm just hit with all this stuff, like trying to run from his freshman, like modeling, and fraternity guys trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I need to focus on and at that time I didn't really like understand the importance of like healing. But when I got into situations and I left out hurt still, I'm like, okay, so something got to give. Like, I got to start somewhere. So yeah, I would definitely say freshman year of college is when I had to like really like start accepting like, Lex, like, your dad is gone, like, he's not here, like, you have to. I was definitely in denial, so yeah. What about you?
I honestly don't know when it started. You just kind of pick up and just kind of do what you have to do. Yeah, I don't actually know when it actually started, because I know I've been through the grieving cycle and still going through the grieving cycle. Probably every year. It may not be like all of the stages, but
yeah,
whenever you having a moment, I'm like, okay, you falling into, in one of those stages. So yeah, I can't really say exactly when it started. I know it has. It probably has restarted and restarted again. But one of the things I tell myself and try to encourage other daddy's girls is just take the time to feel whatever you're feeling, take the time to heal, and then just live. You know, you're gonna have those moments. Have them.
Yeah.
If you feeling gray, you just gray today.
You gray.
Dress up your gray and you keep it moving but don't stay there.
Right.
And I think over the years I've learned that for myself. So that's kind of what it's been like, just allowing myself to feel however I'm feeling, whatever the emotions are. Allow myself to heal, know that you know, he's in a better place, and whatever else, you know, I need to kind of cope in that moment, and then just keep living.
Yeah. I will say, when you mentioned daddy's girls, I remember when I was in college, I wanted to start like a whole community on campus of like girls who like lost their father. When I ran for Miss Freshman, that was one of the things that I said I wanted to implement. And so the fact that you said that kind of like gave me an idea, because I forgot all about it. I haven't thought about it in years, and you said daddy's girls.
Yeah, well, I started one. Let's join forces.
I mean, might as well.
Might as well.
And
that was the only purpose of why I even started Forever Daddy's Girls, is to link up with people who understand, who's been there, who know. Because it's different, you know. Somebody lost an aunt, they don't know, they don't understand. You can kind of empathize for like general loss, but you just don't know. And when I lost my dad, I may have known people, but I didn't really know anybody close enough that lost their dad other than my mom. But I was just like, I need something. I want to be what I needed in that time. Those first couple years, like I want to be, hey girl, I lost my dad too. I understand. I'm here. And that's kind of all I really wanted it to be about. But
and that's absolutely. Yeah. And what I will say is, I know as far as for me, it's like I know a lot of people that went to my church that lost their parents, like their dads. Kind of like it was like back to back, kind of like one person, then them, then me. And so like I remember when I don't know what the thing is called, the little truck or car comes in when they bring like the stretcher, but it's like a van. When they brought the stretcher to come get my dad, but when the what? Yep, that right there. And so then when I went to the backyard because I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. So like literally like all the people that are like my church family, like I call them my church cousins, they like just all like huddled and hugged on me, and they all lost their father. So I was just like, wow, that's powerful. Like when I'm thinking about it now, like back then, you know, I didn't feel alone because I was like, okay, like, you know, I was there for them, you know, or during that time, or like, and there were people who, you know, lost their fathers like long before, and so they were able to really like be there for me. So, and I want to be that way for, you know, somebody else. So we definitely got to link up and make that happen. Do you think you would have chosen the same path in life if your dad were here today?
Absolutely. I'm a social worker. I've always loved people, family, helping. That's just kind of my niche. So I definitely would have still chose the same thing.
Yeah. I don't think I would have went to Central. I think I definitely would have tried. Well, my mama said, girl, if you would have tried to go to another school, your daddy would, first of all, my daddy used to like print out applications of schools close by. And I'm like I'm talking about like not even an hour away. I'm like, who gonna grow all the way? Like, no, that's too close. I need to get away from y'all. But my mom told me, she was like, if your dad was still alive, you would not have been to Howard because he did not want you to be that far away from him. And I feel like I still would have went, even if I would have like worked to my behind off so that I could like, you know, pay for myself to go. But I don't think I would have went to Central, and I do think I still would have moved to New York. He probably would have not like that because he like that. This is me and my dad like glue. I'm his baby girl, like you said, baby girl. So yeah, I do feel like the things that I've accomplished so far in my life, his absence drove me, and I don't know if he were still here if I would have accomplished all those things. So yeah, it's hard to say, but I feel like his death definitely pushed me to do things that I know that I would have been scared to do, and you know, and I do things in his honor. So yeah.
I think I can. I know I can say the exact same. Just with the Forever Zaddy's girl, like his death just birthed all new purpose. Like, of course, you know, you have your profession, but to have like a separate purpose, you know, a drive. If he would have been still here, I would have never, you know, had to start it. But yeah, definitely. All right, who would you want to give you away at your wedding if you choose to get married, and why?
I'm gonna have to go with my brother Tyson because he think he my daddy now. So yeah, my brother, because I mean that's my big brother. Even though he does have like special needs, we don't label him as that. You know, he still can read, still can write, fold his own clothes. Like he does everything. And like he's been in my life since before I was like even born. So like, you know, when he was born and then I was born, like he's just been there. He knows me. Yeah, and every guy I would bring home, and then I would bring a new guy home, and I think it's so funny, he would always call them the other guy's name on purpose.
Oh, God.
So I feel like whenever Lex is gonna get married, I'm like, you know, my brother's gonna know this is it for her. She ain't bringing nobody else to this house, and you know, he the man of the house. So I'm like, my brother. I don't know when I'm gonna get married, but definitely my brother would walk me down the aisle.
Well, when I got married, my grandfather did. My dad's dad, he walked me down. I wouldn't have probably. Yeah, well, if it wasn't him, it would probably been my brother, but he was in the wedding, so yeah.
He was already in another wedding?
No, he was in my wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he walked like my grandmother down, so he was already in the party. But yeah, my grandpa.
Okay. What words of encouragement would you give someone dealing with the loss of a parent?
I would say, oh Jesus. Remember the good times. Know that you were loved, and feel how you need to feel. Allow yourself the time to heal, whether people understand it or not. And continue to live your life. Always honor your dad, but continue to live your life to the fullest. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like your grief is a burden. Everybody grieves differently. If your circle or your square or your rectangle can't provide you the type of support that you need, seek it elsewhere, because if you don't, it'll hurt you in the long run. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty much everything I would say. I would say, you know you're not gonna get over it. Yeah. But you're definitely gonna learn how to live with it. You won't always. You'll have days where you're gonna be sad. Because there was a few like months that I didn't. I'm not saying I didn't think of him, but I wasn't sad. I didn't think about like, oh my God. So there's gonna be times where you are very, very sad. There's gonna be times where you're happy. There's gonna be times where you don't want to be bothered. And just accept all those things, accept all those feelings, and just to understand that it's a part. Nobody can tell you how to grieve. Be alone, be single. Do not, portray or put all that stuff onto other people. Deal with it. Now, if you have a significant other or a spouse that wants to, be there for you, that's okay. But, don't. It's easier to like try to deal with it on your own, because you don't want to like be looking for, your dad and like, somebody else, filling that void, but fill that void with Christ, okay? And yeah, you're gonna be all right. That's what I say. You'll be okay. Like it's gonna hurt. Like it's gonna hurt forever. But just like a tattoo, you get a tattoo done, and then after that, it might itch a little bit. Might get keloids. But but you'll be all right.
What has the loss of a parent taught you about yourself and the world around you?
Okay. The world around me, people are going to feel how they feel, regardless. People handle things differently. I don't take life for granted. I have before, like back then, and sometimes I still do, but I'm cautious of the things that I do. And yeah, that's about it. You just gotta keep pushing forward, you know, take one step at a time, day by day. It ain't gonna be perfect, it's not gonna be easy, but you know, this is your journey, this is your path, and only you know what, you know, you can handle. Yeah.
To answer the same question, I would say the loss of a parent taught me about myself, that I have everything I need to succeed, literally. Just I need to align myself and do the work.
Yeah. Come on, align.
Manifest.
Period.
And as far as the world around me, I just hope that whatever I do, I hope that it's being an influence to somebody in the most positive way. Yeah.
What I will say is I do want to see like little girls who, you know, may have lost their father like around the same age, to see that you can still be somebody. Like, you don't have to not, you know, follow your dreams because, you know, something traumatic as losing a parent happened, but use that to push you, like use it as your fuel, like your why to push you to like where you want to be. Like, I want, you know, people to see me on TV screens, like, and I'm sure they don't really know what I've gone through, and you wouldn't know unless you asked, but I want them to be like, wow, like, but you have no idea what I've gone through to get to this point, you know. And I want little girls to feel like they can do whatever, like they can. Even guys, like, y'all can do whatever y'all can too. Like, even with that, you know, that came with it. And I'm like, do you really wanna walk in my shoes? Like, are you gonna be able to handle? But what I will say is, God don't put more on you than you can bear. So He knew that we both, where we are now, where we were then. Of course, we were like, you know, going crazy, and like, look at how we are now. You know, being able to talk about it, and we could have lost our mind, we could have gone insane
many times.
Sanity, my God, sanity.
And that's good that you said just keep dreaming, don't stop dreaming, even though the first couple years you feel like you live in a nightmare. But you know, just know that you can dream again. You can dream as often as you want to, and you know, do anything that you put your mind to. And just remember everything your dad taught you. Just remember the love. Just remember the joy. Just have all those memories and just allow that to drive you.
Exactly.
And I know that everybody don't have or didn't have the best relationship with their father.
Right.
So I'm realizing that now, like, you know, everybody's not a daddy's girl, but they're grieving a little bit differently because they didn't have a good relationship with their father, or they never knew their father. So just being mindful of that, and teaching and educating myself on how to reach them as well. Because they may not have no memories. They don't know how to move forward. So you know, I might as well just go and get another degree.
Might as well.
I don't want to, but I think, you know, grief is gonna be my thing. But I'm not gonna make it a sad thing. Of course there'll be moments, but yeah, I'm really thinking about leaning more towards the grief support side of things. So
yeah, I'm definitely praying for you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, not like in a but definitely praying for you on that, because like triggers and, you know, but it feels good when, you know, you can comfort somebody, because, you know, my mentors always tell me, like, when people have gone before you through certain things, like when you are able to help them, like you can, because you've been through it. And so like you'll know how to properly like take care of them and like help them.
I think it's easier when it's somebody who's been through the same thing, that transparency. Like, I'm triggered every day, to be honest. It could be something as simple as hearing a song, you know, I think, or smelling something that, you know, you used to cook or my dad used to cook. Some days it's weird, but if I miss my dad that much, I'll go get me a pineapple soda. That was one of his favorite things. And I would instantly feel comforted.
Yeah.
You know, to some people it's like, okay, but it works.
Right, so, exactly.
You'll never stop being triggered. You just gotta, you know, shoot back.
Yeah. Ooh, come on. Yes.
You know, I mean, just keep living. Feel, heal, live. Feel, heal, live. So yeah.
That's a whole quote.
Yeah. That's all I got, Brandy.
We done.
In 10 years, what will life look like for us?
I asked you that yesterday.
I know, but we here today.
I was in front, like, trying to worship God, and you just kept tapping me. I'm like...
Is that what struck your interest?
Yeah.
You think I give you space?
Yeah.
Am I clingy?
No.
Good answer. I think one of our best times is always going to be my labor and delivery. I know
was the
you're
best
not
time?
going to agree with it.
That was our best time together.
Yeah. Hearing them say, sir, are you okay? Do you
Leave me
need some
alone.
orange juice?
Leave me alone. You're the best mother.
I know. If she asked you for $100 right now, we don't even know what she would do with the $100, but you would give it to her.
Right. She get that from you though.
I'm her mom. That's my job.
Okay. I would tell my younger self, loosen up a little. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a big person on like regret or like,
That's real.
preach,
It's the
fuss.
same thing.
Okay.
If you've been moved by our work and would like to help fuel us on our journey, please visit us at muffintalks.com to support.